My name.
So, so are we recording?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Okay. So, where was I? Yes. So this is, I believe in experiential learning, and I want you to be, the more engaged you are, the more questions you ask, the more notes you take, probably the more information you will retain, and then you will be able to incorporate more action items into your everyday life when it comes to side hustling. So I would like to ask you to have your phone handy, because I just upgraded the format of my workshop to a new platform in order to serve this better engagement and interaction. And I'll just start sharing my screen, and I'll give you the instruction of what to do and how to do it. All right, so I want you to grab your phone and scan the QR code, or go to menti.com, www.menti.com, and type the code that you can see below. And then you're supposed to see this screen on your phone. If you see the screen, just send me a like a heart emoji. One person did that already, but I want to see more hearts, which means that you guys, okay, 2 hearts. So you guys are joining the menti.com. So before we start using menti.com, I want to let you know, guys, that menti.com doesn't collect any kind of data or information or user information. So you don't have to sign up. You're not on a newsletter list. We are using this as a way of communication throughout this workshop. If you have any questions, just let me know. But I can see the hearts coming, so people are finding menti.com, the slides on menti.com. Excellent. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Judith, and I'm a career success coach and startup consultant based in St. John's, Newfoundland. But I work with individuals, entrepreneurs, and business organizations internationally, with the sole focus of creating extraordinary career and business success for my clients. So more information you can find on my website. So now let's try Menti. I would like to know your name, because I can't see your names. I want to know your name. So just Mel, Jessica, hi everyone. Jolene, Guy, Nicole, Carolyn, Krista, Nova, Haley, hi, hello everyone. And I'll see, oh, you guys are great at using Menti. Great. Hi everyone. So today's journey, right? So for so many people, the thought of quitting their day job and start a full-on entrepreneurial business, for some people it sounds like exhilarating, but for others it's terrifying, right? And after all, society teaches us that having a stable job and getting a steady paycheck every bi-weekly is a blessing. So entrepreneurship, and we're taught that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. But what if I tell you that there is something in between the two, right? In between a full-time job and a full-time entrepreneurship. And this is the side hustle. So I know that you know what I'm talking about, but side hustle is the new buzzword, honestly. But I think in order to generate some extra income quickly and easily, you need to know more about this relatively new way of money making. So that's why we're here today. And what we're going to look at today, the common motivators, why people start hustling, the unhealthy glorification of the hustle, some challenges for people who are side hustling, we're gonna talk about the unexpected benefits of the side hustle, and then I'll tell you some strategies how to set yourself up for success. Welcome to the hustle economy. So the way we work is changing, right? For many people, the days of having a 9-to-5 jobs are over. And this change, although it's not a novelty because it started decades ago, the global pandemic has only accelerated this change, not necessarily caused it, right? So the terms flexible hours, hybrid work, home office, Zoom fatigue became part of our everyday vocabulary at work, and definitely side hustle become the latest buzzword of the workplace. That's the new kid on the block. And hustling, as I mentioned, it's a relatively new cultural and social phenomenon, but its prevalence is growing rapidly, especially among younger generations like millennials and Gen Z. According to statistics, today we live in a booming hustle economy where millions of employees around the world either have or actively look for lucrative after work hours activities. So let's look at the basics of side hustle. Although side hustle can be defined many ways, I use a basic definition of a side hustle. Basically, this is a secondary business or job that brings in or has the potential to bring in some extra income. And then you will see throughout this workshop that generating revenue is not necessarily the primary reason for many people why they hustle, at least not for everyone. Earning money, however, it's a substantial element of the hustle. So just a little bit about the side gig. The side hustle economy was preceded by the gig economy. The most significant difference between the two is that while a gig is meant to be a temporary and short-term extra income generating activity, while the hustle is a sustained activity over a longer period of time, if not permanently. So let's think about someone who loves photography, and then this person's best friend is getting married, and she or he offers her services for her best friend, so she would take some awesome photos at the wedding. And because she's a creative person and photography is her passion, so she creates these gorgeous, beautiful pictures. And in 6 months' time, someone will phone her and ask her about the pictures of the wedding pictures. And this person will ask our photographer if she would be willing to take a job, a side gig, to do the photography of their wedding. So all of a sudden, the passion of this person is becoming a side gig. A side gig means that okay, whatever this means. So this person will take on this side gig. It means that she does the wedding photography occasionally whenever this opportunity arises. However, if our photographer decides to set up a website, hire a professional photographer to take some headshots, and then creates the content on the website, uploads her photos, starting social media accounts, start promoting herself as a wedding photographer, then photography is becoming her side hustle, because that will be something more more permanent, or if not permanent, like more frequent job opportunity. So some people use the two terms interchangeably, like the side hustle and side gig, but we definitely live in the culture of a side hustle and not a side gig. So the question is, I'm just interested to know that are you guys are hustling already, or you have a side hustle, or no, but you're considering it, or no way that you will ever? 6 people voted. go on. You can see the number. So if you forgot the code, you can see the code to join again. Okay, so I can see that most people are considering it, 67% of our participants. Some people have their side hustles. I would be interested what those side hustles are. And I close the voting. So yeah, we have 1/3, or yeah, probably 1/3. We have a side hustle and 2/3 who are considering it. It's great. So you don't have to believe me that we live in a hustle economy, but I just want to show you some statistics. So in 2019, Statistics Canada published a study where they found that from 2005 to 2016, the percentage of gig workers in Canada generally rose from 5.5% to 8.2%. So it was over 1.5 decades, and it was close to 3% the increase, right? And this increase was observed for both men and women at the same time. Most gig workers, the gig work was only a temporary activity, and workers whose main occupation were in arts, entertainment, and recreation were most likely to be gig workers. They didn't make a huge amount of money with the gig work. And the study also found that's interesting is that the gig work was more prevalent among immigrants than among Canadian-born people. Compared to this, in 2019, Sage Company published a study where the key findings is that 1 in 3 working Canadians are managing their own side business, and more than 1/3, 35% of working Canadians are actively working on considering setting up a business. So the monetary and financial consideration of a side hustle wasn't as significant as predominant in 2019 as it was in the previous decade. And finally, in 2021, Abacus Data survey found that 31% of Canadians pursued to make additional income over the COVID-19 pandemic, and mostly because they were being laid off, they were underemployed, or because they were reevaluating their financial and personal aspirations. And as the economy recovers, there's a projection for the future that 3 in 5, which is 60%, of the respondents intend to pursue opportunities to make additional money to support their income over the next 12 months. So that's what a UK study found, that those who are underwhelmed and underfinanced by their daily job and have the appetite to become an entrepreneur will not let the chance slip. And they think that the 2030s is going to be the era of employedpreneurs. It's a weird term. I don't really like it, but they call it employedpreneurs. So what I want you to, for those of you who are considering, and 67% of the audience is considering starting their side hustle. So I want you to consider 5 things before you start your side hustle. Number 1 is the reason why you're doing it. So why do you hustle, right? Some people definitely they want to make some extra money, so it's a revenue generating activity solely for making some extra money. Other people want to follow their passion because they're bored in their daily jobs, and then they're looking for something that it's fun and more enjoyable. Then some other people are testing an entrepreneurial idea in a relatively risk-free environment, so they don't burn bridges and quit their daily jobs, except they want to start their side hustle to test the waters in a risk-free environment. Other people are looking for side hustle because they want to have some more flexibility. So maybe they have a part-time job or a full-time job, and then this side hustle would give them not just time flexibility, but even financial flexibility. And also some people want to create greater work-life harmony. So doing a part-time job and doing a part-time side hustle would probably give them a better chance to be with friends and family and not just working for the whole time. Some people doing a side hustle means that being independent, and some others think that the reason why they hustle is all of the above. Now I'm interested in you. What is your motivation to start, even if you haven't started yet? But what do you think? What is your why? Why are you considering? Is it money, passion, family time, independence, flexibility, or something else? Most people, it seems to be money and passion, which is absolutely common. Anyone voted? I would be interested to know that what are the other reasons for the 9% of our audience. What's the reason? What's the other reason to do your side hustle? You can leave your answer in the chat box. So 5 things to consider before you start your side hustle. Number 2, what to consider, what are your major goals in life? So I want you to think about, not now, but after this session, I want you to grab a pen and paper and think about your major goals in life, and career, finance, personal life, short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, right? How do you see yourself in your career in 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years? How do you see your finances in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? And also your personal or family life. I want you to think about it in great details. Then number 3 thing, the third thing to consider is, what does your ideal day look like? How many hours do you work? How many hours do you do you do the things that you love doing? Or how many hours do you want to sleep? How many hours do you want to spend with family and friends? What are the fun activities that you want to do? So I want you to think about your days and your weeks in great detail, and think about that. What does your ideal day look like? Because if you want to get up at 8 a.m. and go to bed at 8 p.m. and in between you want to work and you want to go to the gym, you want to have some time with your friends, you want to go out for a dinner, you want to do some, I don't know, fun leisure activity like painting or something, then how many hours can you dedicate for your side hustle? So if you work 6 to 8 hours a day, how many hours do you have left that you can dedicate for starting or doing your side hustle? Fourth thing to consider: do you want your side hustle to become the main job one day? Because the question is that, when is it time for you to quit your job, right? If you want to start a side hustle now but have the option to expand it into something more later, then you should look for something scalable. A business that's scalable means that it can grow into something bigger. That could simply mean, creating a solid, steady stream of part-time revenue, or it could be a full-on business. So there are many factors that contribute to scalability, but one of the big ones is how much of your direct involvement needs versus how much you can delegate or package. So what is it that you want to do as a side hustle? And the question is, how much of your direct involvement is needed for you to do that? Or how much of that you can delegate or you can put on a website? That's a good question. And also another question for you to consider is that how many times can you sell the product, right? Is it once or is it multiple times? And then finally, and one of the most important things that I want to mention is that when you think about doing your side hustle, I want you to think about strategies, how you can prioritize your well-being. This could be mental, spiritual, psychological, and also physical well-being. Emotional well-being is basically the ability to produce positive emotions, moods, thoughts, and feelings, and adapt when confronted with adversity and stressful situations. So this emotional well-being allows you to focus on the positive and manage the negative emotions and feelings you may have in a given situation. So one of its foundation of emotional well-being is resilience, which allows you to navigate challenging life events. And thinking of resilience as a muscle, it flexes and develops the more you use it. So before you start your side hustle, I want you to think about the strategies of how you can prioritize your emotional, mental, spiritual, psychological, and physical well-being. And of course, you don't have to do the side hustle if you don't want to, because you're worthy with or without a side hustle. You don't have to jump into it unless this is exactly what you want to do. And just because society shows you or social media gives you the impression that everyone's doing a side hustle, I'm telling you that not everyone is doing a side hustle, and you are worthy with or without a side hustle. Now, I want you to brainstorm about common side hustle ideas. What can you imagine to become a side hustle? A side business, a second job, or a side gig? You can leave your answer in the bubble, and I set this page so you can submit more than one answer. Let me see your side hustle ideas. A fun job that brings me joy, social media manager, selling things related to certain hobby, private practice as a professional, wonderful baking, wonderful art, excellent resume writing, where I can use my artistic skills, film, great, an opportunity to learn more skills, fence building. I love fence building, and Poshmark. So what I came up with the most common, Airbnb, wonderful. The most common side hustle ideas that I see among my clients and in articles that I read about it is offering any kind of freelance service. That's a great side hustle idea. Becoming, probably not in Newfoundland, but becoming Uber driver or food carrier, it's another side hustle idea. Selling stuff that you make on Etsy, online tutoring, hosting a networking event, creating some online courses, publishing a blog every day, starting a podcast, or becoming a professional home or office organizer, buying and selling used textbooks for university students, writing and publishing a book, starting a membership website. And I love the wellness coach idea. And I love the YouTube vlogs or video channel. Stonewall building. You guys are great, full of ideas. So what I want you to think about when it comes to your idea of a side hustle, that is it feasible? Is it profitable? And is it persuasive? So can you convince other people to avail of your services? So I love this high potential idea checklist by Chris Guillebeau, maybe. His book is the very interesting title. It's called Side Hustle. So he put together this list. So if you want to know whether your idea has a high potential as a side hustle or not, then you just answer these questions. So again, at home, when you grab a pen and paper, just write down these questions. I will send you the slides and the report of the workshop, and I want you to answer these questions. So can you describe how to turn your idea into action in one sentence? You have a great idea, like being a wellness coach. Can you describe me how you can turn your idea into action in one sentence? If you can, check mark. Next question. Is there an obvious way to make money with this idea? Yes or no? If yes, check mark. Does this idea solve a problem for someone? Or is this something that you were missing when you faced a challenge in your life? Or is this something that is missing now from the market? If yes, check mark. How to make this idea happen quickly? So time is of the essence, and you don't have years and years to dwell on your business ideas. But can you make this idea happen quickly? So start like almost tomorrow. If yes, check mark. Is it relatively low maintenance? That's it. It's a very important question, because if it's a low maintenance side hustle, that will ensure that you will be able to keep your full-time job or part-time job and do the side hustle simultaneously. And then finally, can you get paid more than once with this idea, right? I mentioned this before. That's essential. So the delegation part, so how much of your time is required to do the job, or how much you can delegate, and how many times can you sell the same product, basically, so it doesn't require your involvement every single time. The origins of the side hustle. So the hustle culture originates from the tech hubs of Silicon Valley, a work environment that is known to glorify the 100-hour work week. It's called the hustle, hence the term hustle. So you might remember Elon Musk's dubious tweet that nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. Companies like Google, Tesla, started to feed and massage its employees to get the most out of them and keep them at their desk longer and longer times. So this kind of hustling, overworking, workaholic mentality has slowly taken over the traditional workplace. So basically what happened is that this unique industry created something that slowly took over the traditional workplace. So the word hustling refers to the fact that the income generating activity is mostly taking place in unregulated and in the unregulated and informal economy, and it's in a highly unstructured way. So no surprise that most hustlers are unincorporated self-entrepreneurs. And what you should know about hustling is that hustling often takes place day in and day out. Hustling never stops. Hustlers never take a break, and ideally never sleeps. And why don't they sleep? Because they're not productive while sleeping. So productivity is key. So this whole new phenomenon led to the glorification of the hustle. So the glorification is happening in our society, on social media, in magazines, so on TV and TV shows. So that whole mentality led to the glorification of the hustle. when performative workaholism became a lifestyle. So I'm sure that you heard about these quotes that thank God it's Monday, rise and grind, hustle harder. So these are like constantly flickering neon lights in society and spread by the hustle culture. But who is the hustle culture, right? Who is who are the workaholics? Who are the ones who are making money with side hustling? Who are behind the scene? Because the vast majority of the hustle mania are not the people who are actually doing the work, but companies who made their profit from side hustlers. So it's like technology companies, for example. They idealize the hustle and create a false assumption that the only value a person can have as a human being are their productivity, profitability, capability, rather than their humanity. So this whole hustle mania suggests that if you spend time on anything non-work related activity, you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty when you sleep, when you eat, when you don't work, when you do fun things in your life, because ROI is king for them. So you don't have to believe me, but let me show you this short video commercial to support my argument when workaholism is becoming a badge of honor that is enforced by a super brand. So earlier last year in 2021, Squarespace, a website building and hosting company, returned to the Super Bowl with this creative commercial that is focusing on side hustles. So they flipped Dolly Parton's, the country singer, song 9 to 5. They flipped the title to 5 to 9. So the country star is now singing about how to work 5 to 9 on your passion project. And just, can you give me a heart emoji if you can see and hear the video? Please give me a heart. Okay, cool.
Working 5 to 9, you've got passion and a vision, cause it's hustling time, a whole new way to make a living. Gonna change your life, do something that gives it meaning with a website that is worthy of your dreaming. 5 to 9, you keep working, 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 work it 5 to 9, till your dreams come true. Work it 5 to 9. You keep dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. 5 to 9, 5 to 9. You can do it.
So as you can see that the glamorization or the glorification of the hustle is a prime example. This video clip. So now that the unhealthy glorification of the hustle led us to the challenges when it comes to and the downside when it comes to hustling. So years before, having more than one job was seen as a measure of financial insecurity. So people who were having 2-3 jobs, that meant that they could they couldn't make ends meet. Then our modern culture now idealizes side hustle as aspirational, and celebrity side hustlers are entrepreneurial innovators, right? So we celebrate these people as innovators. And I'm sure that you all heard stories about successful hustlers who made millions of dollars from the comfort of their living room. And these stories reinforce the myth that all side hustles are millionaires, And all we have to do to succeed is to work hard all the time. And despite what influencers on social media imply, hustling for 80 to 100 hours a week is far from being glamorous or healthy. And one, we need to be mindful that although side hustle may become profitable, it can also lead to physical and mental burnout. So now let's look at the challenges and the drawbacks of the side hustle, which is, as I mentioned, it's far from being glamorous. And ironically, I find that people often end up creating the things because they left their jobs in the first place. So now I want you to give me some words, actually 3 words, when it comes to the challenges with the side hustle. So you go to menti.com and just type the 3 words that comes to your mind when you think about the challenges with the side hustle. So these challenges could be anything that you can think of. So what is it that you can think of? Okay, brain power, time, expertise, exhaustion, perfect, regret, very good, health, not guaranteed, wonderful. Time seems to be the common denominator among people. Time it takes, cost, startup costs, loneliness, practicalities, wonderful, expertise, lack of support, initial setup, the challenges. Exactly. So the most common challenges that people have is stress. So the constant stress seems to be the hallmark of the hustle economy that promotes workaholism, high productivity, and obsessed with the promise of extreme success. So these states of being cause elevated cortisol levels that is harmful to our mental and physical well-being. Then illnesses, right? Constantly working and undervaluing ourselves can lead to anxiety, depression, heart disease, memory impairments, and these are just a few symptoms associated with high stress. And of course, working all the time, 9 to 5, then 5 to 9, and that's questionable whether it's 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. Who knows? Because sleeping is not celebrated. So this can easily lead to physical and mental burnout. So when people lack energy, they're tired, they're unmotivated, and they put up with a lot of things at work, then those are the early signs of burnout. And then obviously what I mentioned is that people are leaving their 9 to 5 jobs to find a greater work-life harmony, and they can easily end up lacking this work-life harmony, because this is just a mindset with side hustling. And then of course the challenge can be low quality work, because a lot of work, like working 80 to 100 hours a week, is detrimental to the quality of work, and doing 2 things half-heartedly is arguably less effective than focusing on a single task and doing it well. So this may mean that even the time you do invest in your hustle is splintered and ultimately leading you to half-baked results. And then not to mention the financial burden, because people want to start their side hustle to give them more financial freedom or independence and flexibility. But sometimes the cost of the startups, as we could see in the word cloud, then the cost of the startup and investing in yourself and investing in your business could potentially mean a financial burden. So if I go back to your word cloud, that the words that you used, yes, it's time is one of the challenges. Already burnt out, so exhaustion, loneliness, startup costs, regret. So these are, you cite right that these are all the potential challenges with a side hustle. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start your side hustle if you absolutely believe that this is what you should do, because you can set yourself up for success if you use the right strategies when it comes to your side hustle. And I'm a big believer in strategic planning, because I think that whatever we do, we plan first. So think about going on a travel. So if you go on a travel, you will plan everything, right? You will know the exact time for how long you're going. You will know what plane you will take. You will know where you're gonna stay. You will know what activities you wanna do. So you plan everything carefully. Think about your wedding or your future wedding. So if you are getting married, then probably you're gonna plan the day. You will have a strategic plan. You will have a budget. You will have the dream location. You will have the dream wedding gown, etc., etc. So you will plan the guest list. You will plan the food. You will plan everything. So why would it be different with your side hustle? So if you want to set up your side hustle or your entrepreneurship, strategic planning is key. It's extremely important. But and having clear ideas of what, how, why, when, right? These are the key questions that I want you to answer for yourself. But what do I mean by strategic plan? How the idea will lead you to some extra income, right? So number one, ideas. This is what we did before. So give me some ideas in terms of in terms of high potential side hustle ideas. Brainstorm. So what do you want to do? If you don't know what you could do, then you can think about, okay, so what am I good at? What's missing in my life? Or brainstorm a million ideas. And when you brainstorm ideas, then those ideas can be crappy ideas as well. I don't want you to use any kind of filter. So, oh, this is a great idea. No, this is a bad idea. So when you're in the ideation stage, I want you to write down all your ideas that you can think of. Even you can be a florist, or you can be a photographer, or you can be a wellness coach, or you can start tutoring your classmates or your friends' children, or whatever it is that you can come up with. But after you have your ideas, that you have to narrow down those ideas to less ideas that are feasible, that are profitable, and the ideas that are persuasive for other people to buy those services and products. So that leads you to research, market research, most importantly. So what's available on the market? What is it that people are paying for? What's missing? Or what are the crappy products and services that people are paying for, but they could use some improvement? So just look around yourself, your life. Think about what you would pay for, right? So do the research on the market where you want to start your side hustle. And then number 3, connecting with people. So connecting with people in the field that you want to start your side hustle in. And I don't believe that there is such thing as rivals or enemies when it comes to your side business. So you shouldn't look at people in the field as rivals or enemies, rather mentors and not competitors, right? So start connecting with mentors, connecting with people who you look up to. connecting people who you think they can give you some valuable feedback, people who you can trust, people who you can talk about your ideas, and people who will, inspire you and motivate you. So the more people you connect with, the chances that you have like fresh ideas and innovative ideas is greater. Then plan. So this is strategic planning, business planning, and I don't want to take a lot of time to talk about plans. I did already, but you need to have a plan in terms of how you can succeed in your particular side hustle. And then launch before you feel ready. And this is probably one of the key to set yourself up for success. So launch before you feel ready. Otherwise, you will never start. You will never feel ready, right? You can say that, oh, okay, so I will wait until I finish this course. I will wait until I find my first customer. I will wait until I will be ready when I graduate from MON or whatever. But don't wait. Don't wait. Test the waters. Test your idea. Launch what you have basically right now after doing the research and connecting with people and planning your side hustle. Launch as quickly as possible, because the momentum will come with action. So as long as you just think about it in your head, nothing's gonna happen, right? I always say that that thinking or dreaming about something is just intention without action is only psychological entertainment, right? So if you don't move, if you don't act, then you will never succeed. And then finally, because I encourage you to launch your side hustle even before you feel ready, then you can go back, revisit your idea, and refine the product and refine the service. This is what we all do, right? So we start a business, whether it's a full-on entrepreneurship or it's a side hustle, and then we start doing it, and then we tweak it, and then we of this. So this is what we constantly do, is refining our ideas. And then now I'm interested in what stage are you at? Especially for those of you who haven't started, who already started, right? So what stage are you at? Ideation phase, you're doing market research, you started connecting with people, you're planning, you've already launched, or you're refining, revisiting and refining. So it's 1 if you haven't even started yet, and 5 if you completed already. So the average of our audience, okay, so almost everyone has an idea. Some people started researching it. Some people connected with people, mentors, networking. Some people are doing planning. Some already launched, and then refined 1.9 is the average among our participants who are refining their side hustle. And then, as I mentioned, that I will tell you some unexpected benefits. And these are mostly unexpected mental health benefits, because I want to finish this presentation on a positive note. So despite studies that often linking hustling to mental burnout, running a successful side hustle can actually benefit your mental health. Not only does it increase self-confidence, but it also helps feeling proud maintaining high level of energy and motivation throughout the day. Having some extra stream of income also alleviates stress and anxiety about money and offers some sense of control during uncertain times. And the side hustle can further support our mental health if it's enjoyable and intellectually stimulating. And this will conclude my presentation, and ask me anything. And again, you can go to menti.com and you can leave your question in the chat, in the bubble. Questions, comments? We have 2 minutes left. Okay, if you don't have any, I would like to
turn off the
Oh,
recording
sorry.
there, Judith. Sorry, just in
Thank
case
you.
folks are more comfortable
Okay.
without the recording on.